Silver Wolf TV. What's up, Silver Wolf family? What's going on with everybody? Hey, before we watch this video, remember hit that subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share the video, and comment. You know we do talk back. OG Nitty, what's going on in the neighborhood, blood?
Man, what's going on? What's going on, YouTube? But once again, I want to kind of welcome y'all into another episode into the 30 years of my life incarcerated. One of the things that I was recently asked about this, they said, man, they said it was a lot of dangerous places in the Maryland Penitentiary. They say, what was the most dangerous place to you? I said, well, that would be kind of hard to answer because danger was everywhere you looked, everywhere you walked. And it wasn't even so much as you get into something soon, you come in there and things like that, although I did, right? But in there, it was like, especially for a young guy, it was like walking through a field of landmines, because what the young dudes call now crashing out, right? It was always somebody looking to crash out, because at this time they still had the death penalty in Maryland, and one of the ways the guys used to kind of say they were going, they would it was called, what they used to call it, commit suicide by state, right? You knew that, okay, if you already had multiple life sentences and things of that nature and time and all that, a bunch of time behind that, then if you killed somebody else in there and you couldn't no way, shape, form, or fashion say that you did that in protection of your own life, or you killed a correctional officer, things like that, then at the time when they still had a death penalty, they would actually give you the death penalty if you did that, right? And so it was like walking, as a young guy, walking through a field of landmines, because hey, I ain't going for nothing even. I go for bad my damn self. But picture, let's say at least 85% of the people in here, at least they're acting like they're going for bad. Some of them really are, right? Some of them, they really get a thrill out of it. And like, I can remember two white dudes, as a matter of fact. And it was crazy because it was like, and I won't mention their names because I don't know how their cases is going and stuff like that. But at one point in time, it seemed like they was almost like in a competition. Like the dude Silverstein, the head of the ABs, and I forget the other little cat name, right? But they was like becoming the two of them, because they was taking hits and they really had gave up, So when you get down to you walking around guys like that all day, and at the time they still had death row walking amongst the average prisoners in there, right? So, but where I first felt the most danger, I went into a spot called the Gilder basement in there. Gilder basement is so dangerous, one, because it's only one way in and one way out. And it reminds you of old smoky pool hall. And at this time they were still allowing smoking in the DOC in the state of Maryland. So you had, kind of to your left when you first come down there, you had your ping pong tables, then you had a little small barber shop, then you had the pool tables, right? And then you had the phones, right? You had the phones, and then when you go out, you had the bathroom and all that, but you had to come down the steps. You literally had to walk down into the basement to get to all this stuff. Most guys went out there because if they didn't get on the phone on the flats, because the phones on the flats would fill up so quick that most guys, they had to get it down there. But when I first since that first danger was when I seen a guy literally, and they weren't even playing pool. Man, I don't even think the dude seen him setting all this up, but it seemed to be a laundry bag or a pillowcase, whatever. And he beat this dude, man, with every bit about 6, 7 pool balls. And I can remember the only time that I ever, even with being who I was, seeing that much blood in one particular place was in a fucking movie. It was like to see this, and I mean, it was blood everywhere. It was blood everywhere on the walls, man. And like the bad part about it, only one guy did this. But if you like when we had to come past the police in order to get out, right? Anybody spotted, because they got to search everybody now. They got to check everybody and stuff like that. If you so happen to have one drop of blood anywhere on your clothes, then automatically you're going to lock up. You're going to admin say. And the way it works in there is this: if this guy dies, then everybody who was seen with blood on their hand, blood on their clothes, or like tennis shoes, anything. The person who's believed to have done it, you and I don't care how many of it is of y'all, you and that person who believed to have done it are now all going to the supermax, and you have to stay in there a minimum of 7 years in the supermax, 23-hour lockdown. Now, this is why I always say it's a message to the youth. I always say, man, that there's no need of people who keep on giving you all these scared straight things and got some big muscle bound guy pointing in your face and telling you to do all this old shit. That don't scare y'all. So I don't try to scare y'all. What I do is give you reality and let you ask yourself the real question. Is you ready for that? Is you ready to know that you are already in prison, but now go to prison jail for something that you know you didn't do? And do you remain solid for them 7 years? That's a big question to ask. And my suggestion to many of y'all is this: before you do it, just think about it. If it's something you can walk away from, man, walk away from that shit. If not, then that's your future. Till next time, peace.
Gilder TV, y'all. Thanks for watching. Remember, youth, pay attention. These messages not to be glorified, but for you to stay out of prison. God bless. Gilder TV.